Sony released the successor to the PS2 in Europe in 2007, calling it the PlayStation 3. It was sleek looking, if a little bulky, but amongst its new processors and better RAM, its main selling point was its Blu-ray player, made even more important after the demise of HD DVD drives used by the Xbox 360. The PS3 was the first fully online PlayStation and had a great roster of exclusive games that are still played today. The stage was set for Konami to impress. Konami felt that PES looked like it was behind FIFA because their numeral was always one less. So instead of PES 7, they released PES 2008. Perhaps they were misled into thinking this would be all they would need to do, but they were wrong. Critically acclaimed by some, but panned by most, the game suffered hugely from its laggy online gameplay and irregular frame rate. The game was jerky and disjointed. The much-loved edit mode had been hugely redacted. The momentum gained by previous iterations was wasted, and not even the 2008 World Player of the Year Cristiano Ronaldo could save it. FIFA sales and their slick online setup rose in contrast, despite the gameplay still being viewed as the lesser of the two. Play UK would call the first Pro Evolution Soccer on the PlayStation 3 as shameful. Konami had to react, and this began with PES 2009. Lionel Messi replaced Ronaldo as the cover star, and PES managed a fantastic coup by landing the Champions League rights, albeit without some of the teams that had signed exclusivity rights with EA Sports FIFA. Liverpool and Manchester United also arrived fully licensed, and the stage is set for a comeback. However, the game was derided as lacking originality and content. It was declared stale, and whilst an improvement in the year before, more had to be done. PES 2010 again channeled the full Champions League library. Fernando Torres joined Messi on the cover. Konami created a new dedicated team to focus on overhauling the online experience. The Master League got a huge revamp too, with European competitions included and the ability to hire scouts and develop players. The tactical aspects were amended with new skill cards for players. Many were remodeled by hand to create a distinctive PES look and feel. Also, the DualShock technology was adapted on the PlayStation controllers, allowing for 32 directional movement as opposed to 16. And this saw many gamers move from the D-pad to the DualShock analog stick as it improved the ability to dribble on the pitch. It wasn't enough for the game to get back on top, but each review either mentions FIFA as the barometer to beat or declares that the battle between the two is back on. PES 2011 sees Konami's biggest gamble in years. A new engine was implemented with the emphasis on play and movement. There were new ball physics, new animations, new skills, and even eyeball motions to track the ball movement. Full DualShock 360 directional control is implemented, allowing for fully manual passing, which allows players to control the exact direction of their pass. The coveted Libertadores, the South American version of the Champions League, is added. For the editing community, a stadium designer is included, but the most important step is the creation of the Master League Online. This still allows users to play their offline teams, but now they can take that team online to play against other players, and this is a huge step forwards for the franchise. And Shingo Siebas, the game's creator, had this to say.
今回のね、もうペス11はもうすごいいいもんですよ。それはもう自信を持って言います。で、
Critically, the reception was divided, but most agree that again, the game was on an upwards trajectory. PES 2012 saw the return to the cover for Ronaldo. The gameplay had changed much since he was last there in 2008, and it was really starting to feel like a PES title of old. New improvements included teammate controls, by which a player could make the teammate make a run and either slip them the ball or use them as a decoy, again improving the gameplay options for the user. Also, the advantage rule was added, perhaps negating some of the more nefarious fouls performed in the game, especially during online play. The graphics and visuals were improved, with such details as fans wearing kits and stewards now visible. All in all, the game was an improvement on the previous version. PES 2013 again saw Ronaldo on the cover, and is a game with more tweaks and obvious changes. Konami were really getting to grips with the new engine and the capabilities of the PS3. And that was reflected in the free-flowing gameplay. The game was at its zenith once again, and this was reflected by the critics who showered praise upon it, declaring it as easily a match for FIFA and the best PES since 2006. Marlon Anthony has this to say.
Like PES 6 for the PS2 era, PES 2013 is the most supported and receives the most affection from the community from this generation of PES to this day. And just like PES 5 and 6, 2012 and 2013 represent the series' magnus opus.
Sony launched their 8th generation console, the PlayStation 4, late in 2013. It included bleeding edge technology, was backward compatible with all of the previous PlayStation titles, and was a huge hit, eventually selling over 110 million units. One convenient reason for its success was timing. It was launched amid long delays to its competitors, the Nintendo Wii U and the Xbox One. How would Konami and EA Sports cope with this new arrival? In attempting to prepare for the next gen of consoles, they switched to the Fox engine. The graphical advantage was huge. The new game, PES 2014, looked and felt beautiful. Everything seemed to be lining up for Konami to make a real charge at bossing the imminent PlayStation 4. Except, they didn't release the game on that platform. They kept it to the PS3, allowing FIFA a full year as the sole football title on the PlayStation 4. It was a disastrous decision for Konami, both commercially and reputationally. They had a magnificent game, but unfortunately, it was on the wrong console.